Hi everyone, I'm Katie and today I'm going to be giving you some tips on how to do keepy ups. So grab your ball and let's get started. So the first thing we want to think about is the movement of our foot and how this is going to affect the ball. If you can imagine when you're using a tennis racket and trying to keep a tennis ball up, you're keeping the racket really flat so that the tennis ball moves straight up and back down again. We want to do exactly the same thing, but with our foot. So the ball is going to be bouncing off the top flat part of my foot, and whatever way that's facing is the way that the ball is going to go. So if my toes are pointed too far down, the ball is going to hit off the flat part and go out in front of me. If my toes are pointing too far up, the ball is going to hit off the flat part and then come in too close to my legs. So we want something in between. So let's practice the movement. Point your toes up slightly so that the flat part of your foot is flat and facing up towards you. Make sure that you're not bending your foot right or left because the ball will go right or left. And practice those small kicking movements, just lifting your foot slightly off the ground. And on the other foot. So now that we've got the hang of the movement, we can have a go at adding our ball. We're going to drop the ball from around our waist and let it fall right down close to our foot before we start our kicking movement. Then we're going to use the exact same movement we were doing before to kick the ball back up into our hands. And practice that on both feet. You can see that I'm not starting to lift my foot off the ground until the ball's at around my knee. What we don't want to do is lift our foot up too high to meet the ball because this is going to be a bit of an awkward, unnatural movement. Another tip some people find helpful at this stage is to spin the ball towards you as you drop it, and this can help keep the ball coming back in towards your body instead of going out in front of you. So try that and see if it works for you. So once we're able to do one back into our hands, we can move on to trying to get 2 keepy ups in a row. All we need to do is exactly the same technique we've done so far, but add in a couple more things as well. So the first thing we want to think about is how high we're kicking the ball. If we kick the ball up high, it's going to have a long way to fall and it's going to be harder to control the ball when it comes back down to my foot. So try and keep the ball low between each keepy up. Another thing we need to think about is putting our foot down in between each kick. A lot of people when they start doing keepy ups balance on one foot and try and keep the ball up like this. And that can work, but it's a bit more challenging and a bit more advanced because our body's having to think about balancing as well as all the other things going on. So let's try and put our foot down and take a step in between each kick. Once you've had a go at it in both feet and you're feeling a bit comfortable, then you can move on to doing it in alternate feet, which just means one foot and then the other. Alternate feet is a great way to do keepy ups and is probably one of the best ways to get higher numbers of keepy ups because it's a little bit more natural. You're just stepping from one foot onto the other instead of having to get your foot down and back up again really quickly. If you're finding that stage a little bit difficult, what we can do is add in a bounce to make it a bit easier. Then once you get comfortable at doing them with the bounce, you can take it away and try doing 2 keepy uppies on their own. So now that we can do 2 keepy ups, there's no reason you can't move on to doing 3 or 4 or 5. All it takes is a little bit of practice. Make sure that you're following all of our techniques and make sure that you're staying really focused and concentrated on the ball. Watch it the whole way as it moves up and down. Once you get comfortable using the top of your foot to do keepy ups, then we can start thinking about using different parts of our body. You can use different parts of your foot, the inside, the outside. You can use your head, your chest and your knees. Now when we talk about using our knees, we're actually talking about the top part of our thighs, because this is the flat surface and it's going to be easier to control the ball. So let's have a think back over our 4 tips for today. Number 1, think about the movement of your foot and how this affects the ball. Keep your foot flat and facing up towards you. Number 2, make sure that you let the ball fall low to your foot before starting your kicking movement. Number 3, make sure that you keep the ball low in between kicks so that the ball's easier to control. And number 4, make sure that between each kick you're taking a step so that you're not having to balance. So all we need to do now is practice, and before you know it, you'll be getting loads of keepy ups. Please let us know how you get on, and you can even send us in your video of how many keepy ups you can do. I know I'd love to see them. See you soon.